Hello, agents. Welcome to the Ingress Insights podcast, hosted by PkmnTrainerJ. Ingress Insights aims to give you the latest news and updates about the Niantic Spatial game Ingress. Whether you're a veteran agent who has recursed 17 times or a brand new agent working to level 8, wondering what a fracker is, this is your place for the latest Ingress news and discussions. 2026 sees Ingress renewed under Niantic Spatial and many new campaigns to engage agents. So, plenty to discuss. Share any thoughts by checking our social media links. Now, over to Ada.
Additional intel available.
Hello, agents, and welcome to episode 163 of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you are a Patreon subscriber, there's some bonus content at the end of this episode for you, so make sure you're listening on the right feed for that. If you're not, then it'll just be a regular episode, and as normal, you won't see anything different, but if you're on Patreon, you'll be able to see some extra content at the end that I'll go over later. In this episode, I'll be going over the Apollo results that have just come in for the two XM anomalies that have happened this weekend, and also looking at the two campaigns that are going on. I know one of them's got 4 parts, but it's still one campaign. And looking at what else has been happening on the other side that was left behind by Niantic Spatial with the Scope the Explore team, Pokemon Go, all of that, because they had a little update that I think is worth discussing as well. Before I do get into the Apollo news, I just want to let those of you who listen on Pocket Cast know the issues that we were having have now been sorted by the Pocket Cast team. So thank you to them for sorting that out. You'll be able to get the updated episodes through as normal on there. You should be able to catch up on any you've missed as well. So now I'll get into the Apollo Anomaly results. Before I do get into the Anomaly results, I want to go with the Apollo First Saturday results, because those also count towards season points. And obviously I attended one in July, so that was good fun. So in July, there were 1,459 participants for the Enlightened. However, there were 1,564 participants for the Resistance across all first Saturdays in July. That means that the points from there so far are 145.9 season points to Enlightened, 156.4 points to Resistance. The first Saturday participation will also count in August and September. So if you are attending for your faction, you count for at least a point on there, or a point of a point. So it's always worth attending on there and make sure you're boosting the numbers for your faction. For the main anomalies, we had 2 that were going on today. So we had the Helsinki anomaly, and for that the score was 103.4 points to Enlightened versus 176.6 points to Resistance. So the Resistance captured Helsinki. Then we had Bogota, which was 157.6 points to Enlightened versus 122.4 points to Resistance. So Enlightened captured Bogota. So that means that from those 2 anomalies, the score was 261.0 to Enlightened versus 299.0 to Resistance. So along with the first Saturday results, the Resistance are in the lead at the moment with the Apollo season points. It is worth noting at both of these events, the Go Rook events were cancelled, so the Stealth Ops and Urban Ops didn't count. Ordinarily, there'd be 300 season points split between everyone, but there are only 280 season points at each one up for grabs on there. So it's a bit limited this time round. We do have the next Apollo XM anomalies in Seoul, South Korea and Paris, France, and those are on the weekend of the 22nd of August. And then the final ones are the 19th September in Singapore and Denver in the USA. These are the final anomalies for this year, because in 2026 Q4 we've just got the Shard Storm. There's no XM anomalies for Q4. The only other bit of anomaly / Apollo news that I've got is that in the store there is the free Apollo Core Supporter Badge. Free if you play for Core, obviously, but that's able to pick up for free. It's got a kind of fiery Apollo logo on it. The background is a little transparent, so if you look on your scanner you'll see the little back of a pin badge that's hidden behind every badge. So some agents think it's a error, but it's just because it's transparent on there. You can see that part. It's cool, it's free, so may as well pick it up if you're already subscribed to Core. I would imagine it is available until the end of September when the Apollo Anomaly season ends. So if you do want it, I'd suggest picking it up so you don't forget about it. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, we do have 2 campaigns that are currently ongoing. So the latest one we've got going is Moonlit Paths. And that one is still running for quite a while. It runs until the 14th of August. And then we've got the Operation Red Codex that runs until the end of the month, the 31st of July. Moonlit Path is absolutely free. There's nothing to pay for in this one. So for that one, my progress, I'm currently at assignment 3 out of 5. So I've done claiming 1 kinetic capsule. I've destroyed 10 enemy links. I've used 3 portal boosts. I recommend using the peace beacons because you can craft those for free. You may want to hang on to your obsidian beacons just for they don't get them very often. So I can either create 10 links, I've made 4, or hack any 50 portals. That'll get me my 3 obsidian beacons. I'm more like to do that one. I'll probably do both of them. And then I can move on to the 4th assignment. And for doing that, I'll get 200 Apollo tokens, some bits, and 3 more obsidian beacons. The other campaign is all the Red Codex ones. So I'm on the second go round on all of them as far as I'm aware. So I've got the Red Codex one first vision. And for that one, I've done 1 bounty of walking 30 kilometers for assignment 2 out of 2. I've got to capture any 375 portals or visit 100 all-time unique portals. Red Codex 2, the blueprint. I'm on, again, the second go round, assignment 1 of 2, but there's additional media that I can get by completing this. So I need to either deploy 500 resonators, create 100 links, deploy 100 portal mods, or create 100 fields. I've not done any of those yet, but I'm quite close on a number of them. Then for Red Codex 3, the Schism, I'm on assignment 2 out of 2 on there. Again, second go round at least. For that one, I've got to either walk 50 kilometers, mostly done that, neutralize 175 portals, nearly done that, capture 175 portals, nearly there, destroy 80 opponent fields. I've made 0 progress on because all that's around me is machina, so not going to be happening. And then finally, the last one is Red Codex 4 Threshold. So that one, I'm on assignment 2 out of 2. Again, completing that will get me some additional media and some additional items. Deploying 800 resonators, nearly done. Deploying 180 portal mods, nearly done. Creating 120 fields, nearly done. Creating 240 links, nearly done. So getting there with that. It's also worth remembering the Apollo rewards are in the form of the campaign this time. So you do need to make sure when you've earned the relevant amount of Apollo tokens, you go in and claim it to move on to your assignments on there to get your relevant badge. I've got the bronze Apollo season medal at the moment. I need to achieve 8,000 Apollo tokens. I'm on 5,890 out of 8,000. So I should get the 6,000 that will get me 30 level 8 XMP bursters. And should be on the way to getting 8,000 easy before the end of the season. I've still got 74 days I'm recording this, so plenty of time. There's not really been any updates from the Ingress team as yet. I know they're still working on the back end to try and get everything resolved and running as it should be in the game. Hopefully that's the next step and doesn't take too long for them to test and get out on there. That's all I've got for general Ingress news. So I'm going to move into other news just regarding the Scopely stuff and then move into the bonus content for those of you listening on Patreon. Hopefully by now you're all aware that back in May 2025, Scopely bought a lot of Niantic's games and services. So they brought Pokemon Go, Monster Hunter Now, Pikmin Bloom, Campfire and Wayfarer. So it was Ingress and Peridot that remained with Ingress. Well, the Ingress team, they became Niantic Spatial instead, the former Niantic, and then everything else went to the Scopely. Until very recently, it's all been operating with the Niantic logo still coming from the startup on those screens. And now Scopely have changed that to introduce Scopely Explore. So they said, last year we welcomed the Niantic games team behind Pokemon Go, Pikmin Bloom, Monster Hunter Now, and companion apps Campfire and Wayfarer to Scopely. As these games continue to flourish as part of the Scopely portfolio, we're introducing a new name for the team, Scopely Explore. The name reflects a mission that has guided these teams from the very beginning. Exploration sits at the heart of these games and experiences in the communities they serve. Whether encouraging players to discover new places, connect with others, or experience the world in new ways, this team has always been united by a belief there's more to explore. Scopely Explore is not a separate company or subsidiary. It is a mission-driven team within Scopely. Like all the experiences in our portfolio, these games and products are developed and published by Scopely. Scopely Explore will continue building experiences that will inspire people to get outside, connect with one another, and explore the world together for many years to come as part of Scopely. Over the coming weeks, you'll see the Niantic name begin to evolve across platforms to Scopely Explore. This has slowly been happening, so they posted that on July the 6th, and I believe all the Niantic games are now showing as Scopely Explore on the startup screen, much like the Ingress team changed it to Niantic Spatial. Peridot changed Niantic Spatial pretty quickly when things changed. The last ones to change were Campfire and Wayfarer, so checking on Wayfarer on Scopely's website. That is now, instead of Niantic Wayfarer, just simply Scopely Explore Wayfarer, which sounds a bit of a mouthful. Not sure that one really works. That is about all that I've got for general Ingress news, other news, and Anomaly news. Obviously, we've got more things coming up in the coming weeks, and we've got the other anomalies coming soon as well. For now, though, agents, if you're not on the Patreon, I hope you have a great Sunday and happy hacking. If you are on the Patreon, stick around after the little bit of music, and then we'll get into the bonus stuff. Thank you, agents, for listening to the latest episode of the Ingress Insights podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. So the easiest way to support the podcast is via Patreon. So you can find at patreon.com/ingressinsights. And there's a free tier, a $1 a month tier, whatever that is in your local currency, and a $5 a month tier. You can check out what benefits those come with on the Patreon. One other thing you can do that's totally free that helps out a lot is rating the podcast on your podcast service of choice. So where you can leave a rating or leave comments, that always helps increase visibility. And then finally, you can follow us on various social media channels. We use most of them, but the best one to follow us on now is Blue Sky. So that's just ingressinsights.bsky.social. Search for Ingress Insights on Blue Sky, you'll find us on there. Finally, sharing the podcast with friends, family, other agents who want to listen and get updates, so it helps out and helps get interviews with various Ingress people or other game-related people to then increase visibility more. So anything you can do from those is great. Thanks again for listening, agents. Have a great day.
Intel package transferred.